Yay! This almost December, and of course I have to start the stream off by coughing. Hold on, let's yeah, there we go. So, hey everybody. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. Yeah, first gameplay stream after my unintended week off, or kind of half week off-ish, because I was in visiting family out of state, and I thought I'd have a fast enough internet connection to do the streams remotely that I planned. The last last gameplay stream, the last watch party stream didn't work out. Then yesterday I was gonna do hey Kaleka boy, a happy Wednesday. And yeah, yesterday I was gonna do a watch party of Pokemon the movie The Power of Us, and it turns out that within the last week they removed the watch party option from Pokemon the movie The Power of Us. So I ended up watching just some stray Pokemon episodes that happen to be available in the US and Canada. Yeah, I actually got a lot of use out of my word processor today. I took some copy I was writing. It was like 450 characters. Took it all the way down to like 289. I had to get it to under 300 characters, and I did that over breakfast this morning. And it was weird because I was like, in a diner when I was writing this, so I sort of like fist up, like, yeah, when I did the word count, I was under 300 characters, and everyone was like, what's going on? But, hey, Azurest. Yeah, so we're playing more, Pokemon Violet. The first couple of streams, yeah, there were some rough edges, but I was still feeling the magic, right? But then, the last stream, when I explored the main city, Mesagoza, lots of really, not just rough edges, not just little frame rate hiccups or this, that, it was just bad design. Just embarrassingly bad design. To the point where I really questioned if I wanted to continue playing this game. I think, in the last 10 minutes, just sitting here getting ready for the stream, I really thought of a way that I would like to continue playing this, and I think it's going to be pretty entertaining. But it's not a priority. Part of me is like, I love Pokemon so much, if the next Pokemon game launches in a state or similar to this, I'm not going to buy it. Not at launch or down the line. Right now, I'm ready for this to be my last experience with the mainline Pokemon games, if this is the quality I could expect going forward. And do I want to continue playing this? Do I want my last experience with mainline Pokemon, a series I've loved since it first came to North America in '98, to be this? But there are things I do like about it. That's the worst part, so... yeah, so down the line, we're definitely going to be playing some classic Pokemon while I was at my, I was not at my family house, for Thanksgiving, but before that, back in, September, I went to, where I used to live and got my, my Game Boy cartridge of, Pokemon Red out of storage. I accidentally had it in my, storage unit with my consoles, which I intended to bring with me. But let's, go ahead and get into the game. Yeah, I've had that. I don't think I've showed it on stream because I actually have it in the closet behind me there. And I don't want to get it just to show it off. But I will be playing that on stream with the Analog Pocket. So what I've heard, just to give a sense of some of the rough edges I've been talking about, there are multiple repeats of identical stores selling identical things. Like this city, Mesagoza, is the best designed city in terms of the map layout, the best and most realistically designed city in terms of the actual physical map layout. But there's so much jank in terms of just repetition of content. And at first I wanted to justify it like, oh, there's a south, east, and west entrance to the city, so maybe the stores were laid out so that you could only go down one branch of the city and not have to go all the way across town to be able to access a few essential stores. I actually tried to think to justify this, but then I realized, oh wait, some of the stores repeating are directly next to each other. Like here, look at this. We've got this little barbecue restaurant, and we've got this one next to it. Trust me, these are identical restaurants. These are directly next door to each other, and you don't even get to go inside them. It just shows you a menu. If you look on my YouTube channel, I made a an 8-hour cut down of everything before the city, my comments, And then on the second part, I actually did a half-hour cut down of my last stream of this game, which was a tour of the city in general. Look, he's a stone's throw away, and he's moving at flipbook frame rate. So just lots of rough edges, which is a shame, because, like I said, the actual layout of the city is by far the best layout of a city in any Pokemon game in terms of realism to what a real-life city might be like. But frankly, every single... Look at that rips me right out of it. And if I cared about having the most high-tech graphics possible, I would not have... I've been mainly playing Nintendo systems since 2006. So tough. This is the famous tortuously long staircase to the Academy. Not an easy climb, is it? Yeah, it's not accessible either. Yeah, but cool music. Cool music right here. But well, what I hear, I've been very interested in what this school would be like. And it's interesting because we watched some of the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime yesterday for the first time. The anime series based on the Pokemon Sun and Moon games. Finally out of class. I'll explore the outside first. But this, it was that anime. I hear that Team Star races around every night riding on weird cars of some kind. Those Team Star kids. Those Team Star kids are a little scary, don't you think? You know what? I just realized I didn't get my water out my fridge. I'll be right back. Excuse me. Just gotta hit. I see a Clackaboy enjoying another bubble milk tea. Well, hang on for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta get my own water to drink. Okay, we're back. We are back. Now let me just prop my pillow up. Usually I have my water on my left. This time I have it on my right. Okay. Those Team Star kids are a little scary, don't you think? Okay, that's all she has to say. Yeah, but the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime is sort of based around the idea of Ash attending a Pokemon school in the Alola region. And the other students are a lot of different kids that, a lot of different characters that actually appear in the Pokemon Sun and Moon games. And I know the Pokemon Black and White era of the anime really did not do much to do a bit more review. There we go. So, yeah, we're so high up. I love... See, look, the view from up here is great. Now, I admit, okay, if some of the foreground buildings looking a little N64-ish was all I had to complain about, I wouldn't even mention it. Mesagoza is like a full table. It's got the school, it's got culture, it's got everything. And I heard that the indoor areas were much more... Look at that, that's cool. I guess maybe there's sooty grass type Pokemon up there. That looks like a observatory or something. I love it. Come on. There are lots of different people in Pokemon at the school, and you're part of the variety. Actually, I can drag. I'm just messing with, just perfecting my interface. There we go. That's better. Yeah, actually, this is pretty good music. Yeah, I heard the indoor areas run a lot better than the outdoor areas, so maybe we'll gotta get a new notebook. Finally out of class. Gotta do that homework. We can do it! Oh, look at him dancing. He's having a good time. This little Rockruff's having a good time. Look, you ever seen Rockruff before? He's a little puppy Pokemon. Okay, let's do this. I like lots of books already. Here we are, H. Welcome to UVA Academy. This here's the entrance hall. You can sign up for all kinds of classes at the desk behind me, and those halls off to the sides lead to all different parts of the school. It's totally big enough to let loose and battle in here, but for some reason they banned Pokemon battling in the main entrance. Master H, Miss Nemona. How did you find your first school commute? We had a blast. I imagine Miss Nemona's high spirits helped with that. She's a true asset to our fine academy. Not that I was expecting anything less from our champion-ranked student council president. Reliable as ever, Miss Nemona. Well, I know how to look after my friends, right, H? Oh, but speaking of which, we saw some of those Team Star kids in town, Director. You did? Where? Where? Those... What are those, Starlies? I forgot. Whatever they are. I forgot what Pokemon those are, but that's not good. That doesn't look good. The game should not be doing that. Ugh. Well, good. Now they phase out of existence. We don't have to look at them. At their flipbook frame rate. It was down the stairs right from the front gates. They were hassling this kid with an Eevee backpack. That is quite the news. Are they still to be found out there? Actually, H flexed on him and ran him off. You don't say. Of course, it's a fine thing to help a fellow student, Master H, but you might wish to show a bit of restraint as you find your feet here at our academy. And Miss Nemona, do remember that the school staff is here to resolve any such troubles. Right. Yes, sir, Director. A child with an Eevee backpack, you say? I suppose that might have been Miss Penny. I'm relieved to hear she's come to class at least. Well, I mean, she wasn't in uniform or anything, so I don't think she's showing up to class today. Ah, and Miss Nemona, if you'd be so good to report to Mr. Jock about this Team Star business. As your homeroom teacher, he should be kept appraised of all such goings-on. You got it, sir. Ah, but look at the time. You had better hurry along. Classes will be starting soon. I'm interested to see how they implement the school life aspect of this game's plot concept. We're in Class 1A, H. Come on, I'll show you the way. I'm glad that they used a language that I'm glad they wrote the name of the title in like Wakanda. Look at this. It's a classroom full of bustling students, and they're all looking like these students are making the Rankin Bass stop motion animated specials from the 50s and 60s look like 120 FPS right now. Hello everyone. We have some exciting news this morning. Who wants to hear it? Ooh, me. I want to hear the news. I suppose I should have told you sooner, but we have a new little friend joining our happy homeroom as of today. And honestly, I joked about, okay, the chalkboard text being, yeah, the chalkboard text having that fictional universal language, it's fine. It makes sense in universe. This is just the language of this world and makes localization easier to boot. So I appreciate that. However, having like a title of whatever classroom or wherever it's supposed to go be in that fictional language and it be untranslated just feels kind of awkward. Whisper, whisper, whisper. I wonder what they'll be like. Alright, you can come on in. Apparently... Oh my gosh, this looks so bad. How am I... This is an indoor area too. At least outdoors, it's like, oh, we have to render all this stuff. This is an enclosed environment. And they can't get these characters to move realistically. Could I trouble you for a few words introducing yourself? Hi, I have the superpower of being fully animated. Sure, I'm H. Right, I'm H. Sure, I'm H. Yeah, apparently hats are part of the dress code as long as it's part of the a school uniform, a hat from the school uniform set, I guess. Looks like everyone's eager to get to know you, H. Alright then, who wants to be first to ask our new friend a question? Me, can I ask a question? What's your favorite thing about Pokemon? My favorite thing about Pokemon is the high quality standards and practices of the quality assurance department. I like everything about Pokemon. I like playing with my Pokemon. I like collecting Pokemon. I like playing with my Pokemon. Really? Awesome. I'm totally the same. Does anyone else have a question for their new classmate? Me, I have a question. Oh, why? Now the background is all faded out. Well, the background's all faded out, I guess, to place emphasis on this one character, but it looks like it just... But you know what? Yeah, like, the effect is so, like... You can see on the left, on the left of the screen, on the floor, the point where it just fades out, and it makes it look like the background's censored? Like, what? I don't even know what they're getting at with this. If the music had quieted, like focusing on this one character, she's saying the most... But no, it's like the same happy-go-lucky music is playing, so there's not even, like, any tension or... like cinematography to Okay, here we go. That's a little... What do you hope to get out of it? You must have some kind of dream, right? I want to complete the Pokédex. I want to be a strong trainer. I don't actually know. I guess I want to be a strong trainer because if I continue with this game, I'm going to be doing the badge quests mainly. Oh, you will be. Oh, I just know it. You and me, we're going to get so strong battling together. Well, thank you for telling us a bit about yourself, H. I'm Mr. Jock. I teach biology here at the Academy, and I'm also your homeroom teacher. And for such a... This is supposed to be a scientist. He's wearing a lab coat, and he has, like, open-toed sandals on. That's not appropriate laboratory clothing. Like, if you spill some chemicals or something, or drop a scalpel, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay. That's your seat, second row from the front. Oh, you mean the only of it? Oh, why should the game lag that much? All right, you ragamuffins, be nice and friendly to our new classmate. We will, Mr. Jacques. Get to know the Academy campus by exploring a bit on your own. Okay. A biology class is available to take. A math class is available to take. A battle class is available to take. Wow, they actually teach math? What is it, like arithmetic? Like, I'm interested to see what the math class was like. And this is funny because, I mean, math was my least favorite subject in school. And, well, it wasn't my least favorite. I was interested in it. Just that the way the math class was, you know, as a student with special needs, I was not in that normal math class. I was not able to function normal math class. I want to say I'm mathematically illiterate. Meanwhile, I'm interested enough in math to just have a Japanese abacus sitting around on my desk that I have like 4 or 5 books about how to use it. But anyway, hey, Serial Walrus. So do you like are they gonna show? Yeah, did you see? They were like, it's not happening here, which makes it even worse. But they just had these views of prolonged shots of the classroom, and every single one of these students was moving at 10 frames per second without exaggeration. And their school papers on the desk are flicking in and out of existence. When class is in session, we need to tend to be on our best behavior. Our best still isn't that good. Yeah, and the students in this, the kids are at different ages in this homeroom. Now, I don't know how schools are structured in all kinds of different ways in different parts of the school. So if this is a homeroom, then I could understand putting kids of different ages if they're relatively close in the same homeroom, if the purpose of the homeroom is just for the teacher to take attendance for their roster of students before they move off to their separate classes for their courses of study. You can now move around the school. Try checking out some place on the map. You might be around. You might be able to discover something. Now choose a location and start exploring. Really? I can't... I'm disappointed that I choose from a menu. I thought I'd be able to walk around the halls. I mean, for an open world game, when they say you're now free to explore the school, the last thing I would have had reason to expect is getting to choose from a menu. Staff room. Why is a student able to go into the staff room? And look, this is untranslated. It's in like Jabberwocky or Gobbledygook. I don't know what language that is. Oh, you have this looks like a Tim Burton character here. Well, very well, Champion Nemona. I trust you to handle this in my stead. Sure thing, you can count on me. In fact, I bet this is gonna be fun. Glad to hear it. Good day, then. Oh, pardon me. Oh, H, hey. Who was that? She looked awesome. Who was that? Piqued your interest, huh? That lady, well, they call her La Primera. She's strong. She could do pretty much any... Oh, she's basically everything I want to be. Or that any Pokemon trainer would want to be, really. Yeah, and Azurus right now, there are a lot of empty seats all of a sudden. Oh, which reminds me, remember in homeroom when I asked what your dream is? Well, since your heart's already set on becoming a strong trainer, I've got an idea for you. You should try to reach champion rank like me. Yeah, I will. Oh, wow. Hang on, though. I've got a whole spiel I want to give you. Here goes. The trainers who reach champion rank are the ones who raise their Pokemon really strong. They're pro-tier battlers. Their moves keep crowds absolutely on the edge of their seats. You have to prove yourself to the Pokemon League to officially get the title of champion. And to do that, you have to do more than just take classes here. You've got to take on 8 Pokemon gyms and win so you can collect their gym badges. Once you've done that, all that's left is a special test, the Champion Assessment. And once you pass that, then at long last you'll be a champion. It's every Pokemon trainer's dream, the coolest title anyone could hope to get. Now, just for a little background for anyone unfamiliar with Pokemon, going around the world to different towns, going around the region that the Pokemon game is set at to different towns, challenging gyms, collecting badges by defeating gym leaders, and then going on to a final test before getting the rank of champion. That is basically the traditional main quest of past Pokemon RPGs. Now, as I understand here, there are a couple of other main quests you could go on as well, aside from or in addition to the champion path thing. Not to brag or anything. I reached champion rank during our last treasure hunt, you know. Oh, the treasure hunt is a special independent study thing we've got here. Should happen soon. Our last started not long after the beginning of this school year. Okay, so this treasure hunt thing as an independent study is going to be a context for us to be, okay, we're students in school, yet we're running around the world having battles with magical creatures, so it's great. You get to leave school and go on an adventure and learn however you want. I guess you could say my journey to becoming a champion was the treasure I found, maybe. I don't know if that's the answer I'm looking for. Now, the writing in general is fine. The concept of this game in general is fine. Anyway, I've got a feeling I'd be able to get even stronger if you and I were both working at it. Let me go ahead and save the gym's locations in your map app in case you decide to... Oh, wow! Ah. The gym locations have been added to your map app. Victory Road. Oh, and Victory Road is what's traditionally... Victory Road is what they call the road leading up to the Pokemon League headquarters. Hey, For Real Fan, how you doing? Yeah, it's been a mixed bag. Do you think it's safe to heat your motorhome using the oven? Serial Wars asked me. I'm not qualified to offer like detailed fire safety advice. I would maybe just do some research on Google about that. I personally, I've grown up in New York City. You know, and there are a lot of lower income areas where I've heard of a lot of disastrous fires that have happened with people trying to heat their homes using their kitchen ovens. So I'd be extremely cautious about that, and maybe check up online for some fire safety tips or something like that. But I'm really not qualified to give detailed advice on that. But For Real Fan is saying that they're doing good, eating dinner, but you've been there since the start. Yeah, I mean, it's such a mixed bag because I like this world, I like the setting, but there's just so many rough edges, some bad animation, lacking of animation, just like things like selecting where you want to go in the school from a menu. Oh, For Real Fan saying you got Magic the Gathering tonight too, since last time we got canceled due to a random snowstorm that blew in. Oh yeah, I remember the last time I ended up streaming on Wednesday, you dropped in and you were heading out to do Magic the Gathering, I think. Oh, speaking of in-person games, when I was visiting my family for American Thanksgiving, I got to take my backgammon set, which you can look at on the VODs of my backgammon streams, or I have a video on YouTube specifically showing it off, but I got to play some physical backgammon with my mom. We have played backgammon together wirelessly using Nintendo Switch, but this is the first time I got to actually play with my physical backgammon board I got recently. Give it some thought. Yeah, you got there and the snowstorm hit. For Real Fan saying, couldn't see 2 feet down the road, so you canceled due to the weather. Yeah, it's really scary when, you don't have much... And the great thing about driving to visit family in remote regions as opposed to flying is that I got to bring back a big double serving of the soup my mom made. So I got to have some for lunch today. And I had more leftovers yesterday, not the soup though. And I have another serving of soup for tomorrow, which is great. I don't get how to solve this one here. So colorful. A lot of the teachers here are real colorful characters. I need to try harder to stand out. Oh, you mean for actually dressing like a professional in a high-end private school? I've got to put that test together soon. Ah, now where's my next class? They called this, I don't understand. They called this the staff room, but it look. Oh, I like. Okay, we have it. Unless this happened in Pokemon Sword and Shield and I missed it. I think we have the first ever depiction of a copy fax printer in the Pokemon games. But yeah, this doesn't look like a staff room for students. This looks more like a study room. Where do you want to go? It's time to wipe out that stupid menu. I wish I knew what that said, but apparently it's not important enough for them to have translated it. And should I get seconds? Yeah, I think I'll get seconds. The students, they're allowed to get seconds. Sandwiches you make together taste even better when you eat them together. You know, not last time, but it was a number of months ago when I visited my dear mama. She sent me back. She sent me back home with a couple of these artichoke, like, hummus I think they were like artichoke hummus sandwiches. And I remember stopping at our those roadside rest stops that they have in the States all over the place on the way back and eating them. and it was such a warm experience. Well, the sandwiches weren't warm. They were good sandwiches to eat cold too, but it was so nice, you know, getting to have Mom feed me even after I was already hundreds of miles away on the way back home. What do you get when you mix a Rotom with a microwave? When Rotom enters a microwave, it turns into Heat Rotom. I heard its type even changes. This is fruit, right? I've been told they're Pokemon that camouflage themselves as fruit. Oh, like Bounce Sweet. Okay, that's... You know, that looks like... I think that's supposed to be an industrial oven. But out of context, it does... Or maybe it's a industrial refrigerator. Yeah, good mamas always take care of their babies. Not everyone's so lucky, but why am I just realized I could spin the character till they're dizzy. That's amusing. That's cute. That's cute. So yeah, but what I was gonna say is that looks like also like an old mainframe computer. Now I wonder if this is like an actual kitchen, where, like, is this where like the cap? Well, this person looks like a cook. Hope your studies are going okay. What do you have today? Oh, yeah, you know, this is a rich public school when you're expected to be able to afford, basically a $17 5-alarm sandwich. 5 alarm. Yeah. Yeah, the cheapest sandwich here is like the equivalent of like almost $10. Egg sandwich. The key is the eggs aren't scrambled, rather they're thinly sliced boiled eggs. Potato salad sandwich. The potato salad makes this sandwich nicely filling. It's a perfect lunchtime meal. Pickle sandwich. I'm guessing this is like a cheddar pickle sandwich, which I wanted when I was in England. I wanted to get. Oh yeah, cheapest. Oh, I thought. Okay, sorry. When you said cheapest high, I'm thinking you're talking about like the cheapest versus the highest price of these sandwiches. But no, you're like the cheapest, like, you know, having your senses messed with just by spinning. I wanted, when I was in England in 2015, when I went to go visit the Bluebell Railway, I really did want a cheddar and pickle sandwich. But I couldn't find one anywhere. But I did get to have a ploughman's sandwich, which is basically a sandwich version of a ploughman's lunch, which was interesting. But peanut butter sandwich, the thick sweetness lingers in the mouth, a treat for the taste buds. Delicious. Look at these little meal powers. I'm gonna have a good meal and get some meal powers. Maybe that'll help my grades. I'm ready for seconds. I haven't had first, and I already want seconds. Hey, kid. You're the guy who gave us that legendary Pokemon. Oh, hey, so we meet again. Arvin is his name. You remember me, right? From the lighthouse. Yeah, exactly. That's my little know-it-all buddy. Got a mind like a steel trap, huh? No need to tell me your name, H, right? Whole school seems to be talking about you. We haven't done anything of note yet. The new kid who showed up with the president of the student council. Well, I guess that is kind of notable. Normally I wouldn't even bother showing up for class, but I came all the way to school today just to talk with you. Our new celebrity. Had to say that like Alan Rickman. You've got to help me out so I can finally make my dream a reality. For real, as fan is saying to Clackaboy, I think there used to be a custom one on Etsy if you... Oh, you know, Clackaboy, I missed what you said. I'm sorry. Okay, I missed a lodge chat there. Excuse me. Clackaboy is asking if there's a Pokemon backgammon set. And For Real Fan is saying he saw someone trolling like that in front of Marils, and the Marils spun around too. Oh, that's something I'll have to try. But, For Real Fan is saying that they think to Clackaboy that there used to be a custom one on Etsy a few years back. Looked cool, but nothing authentic or official. And if you're in England, you want a traditional afternoon tea. You know, I had the option. On the Bluebell Railway, there is a tea train where they serve an afternoon tea called the Wealden Rambler, if I'm even saying the name of that right. And it's served on sort of the British Railways Mark I stock, the Mark I coaches from the 1950s. And it was being pulled by the Southeastern Chatham Railway 060 freight locomotive when I was over there. And I got a shot of it going away. And the option to ride it But frankly, I was doing so many special events and special trains and special, private tours they gave me because I was so blown away. I came all the way from the U.S. that I was like, you know what? I'm stepping out. I'm not going to do this one. The T-Train, I'd rather just stand outside and get a nice shot of it leaving. You got to help me out so I can finally make my dream a reality. What's this dream first? Hee hee, caught your interest, have I? I want you to hear all about my dream, right? Well, this might come as a surprise, but the fact is, I'm all about that picnic life. The great outdoors, the perfectly prepared sandwiches, all of it. Hey, I said as soon as I found out that there was some kind of picnic system in this game that involved going on picnics with your Pokemon, I was like, I am all about that. I am all for finding a nice warm place, a comfy place outdoors, and having a nice warm picnic, sharing sandwiches with my critters. That sounds like the dopest thing ever, and something I'd totally be doing, and something I may or may not have daydreamed doing while out on the sheep meadow at Central Park in New York City, back when I used to live there. But I'm all about that picnic life, the great outdoors, the perfectly prepared sandwiches, all of it. Not half bad at cooking either, I can tell you. Right now, I'm researching new recipes. Okay, the last time we met this guy, he seemed frustrated about something, and he gave us a legendary Pokemon that's still under our care. And so the fact that the next time we meet him, he's talking about picnics, is kind of a little interesting. Could you enjoy a crepe at a picnic? If you could find one you could bring with you. I've never done that yet. I've never, the kind of crepes I've found in stands out in the city. Well, first off, I don't find, back when I lived in the city or the times I've revisited, when I find crepe stand, they tend to be the kind of they serve them in the kind of way where you sort of eat them on the spot like an ice cream cone, right? But there are these, I'm not going this year, but I'd love to going to the Christmas villages, and the one I go to is always in Bryant Park off 48th Street. And we're actually only a couple blocks away from Nintendo World. And I would go, and there's all these stalls with food and actual artisan things, like silversmiths making custom earrings and stuff like that. And there was this nice little stand that they there's always a crepe stand in there. There's lots of cool vegetarian food and stuff, but there's one particular, there's a crepe stand I'd always it's not always the same creperie, but I'd go there and have a crepe and have a nice big thing of hot cider, and I'd put my hands around it to keep my hands warm in the cold. But anyway, I found this book the other day, and it had a section about these Hebra Mystica things. Basically, they're some kind of special herbs that heal any Pokemon as soon as it eats them. Now, there are a total of 5 different types of Hebra Mystica based on what I read. Just taking a little lick of them once they've been powdered will get your blood flowing, provide nutrients, prevent aging, it'll even boost the immune system. It sounds like you're about to try to rope me into a multi-level marketing scheme, Arvin. These herbs seem like they're the real deal, only found here in Paldea, and rare to boot. But this book says they're guarded by Titan Pokemon, meaning that it's going to be pretty tough to try to grab even a few sprigs. Because see, Titans are, well, I think they've got to be things like this. Monsters of Area Zero. As we descend further into Area Zero, we begin to catch... Oh, I accidentally... Okay, I'm going to keep my hands off the controller and read this. A member of the survey team captured this photograph by chance. I noticed a passing resemblance to the Pokemon known as Donphan, yet differences such as its texture and the way it moves suggest it's biologically separate, to say nothing of its treads of iron. Titan Pokemon, is this game version of Megas? I don't know. I know the main, gimmick, mechanic gimmick thing is kind of this thing where you, it's called Terrestrialize or something, where you turn the Pokemon into, a giant crystal thing, and it looks stupid, and I'm probably never going to use it unless the game demands me to in order for plot purposes. I really want to get those herbs myself, but I'm not very good at Pokemon battles. I don't have any friends with strong Pokemon to lend me a hand either. Those look cool for some Pokemon, though. Well, I only saw one example of it so far in the game, and it looked kind of dumb. And the thing is, ever since Mega Evolution, every single Pokemon, new Pokemon generation has some kind of crazy gimmick. And because Mega Evolution felt like a natural progression in a certain way, but every single Pokemon game has some kind of gimmick, like Z moves or becoming giant-sized or whatever. And I don't blame them, but which Serial Ross asked me, which Pokemon trainer avatar for the original games do you resonate with most? By original games, do you mean like all the mainline games in this series, or do you mean just like the original games in terms of like the games like the first 2 gens that were on Game Red Blue? Which Pokemon trainer avatar? You mean the different types, like the Gambler and the Fisherman and the Pokemaniac, Bug Trainer? Okay, Serial Wars. We got the right idea. I guess I would have to. I guess I'd have to identify the most with the Pokemaniac. Just because they're just a fan of Pokemon. But they honestly look kind of deranged. And then in like Gen 2, and one of the first Pokemaniacs, if I remember correctly, in Red and Blue, actually says, "Do you know about costume players?" And costume players, because like I don't think the English term cosplaying hadn't come into mainstream use yet, so I think they were maybe translating directly from Japanese. So the Pokemon fan, and this because they translated this in like 97, 98. So the Pokemaniac asks you, do you know about costume players? Costume players dress up as Pokemon. And then from Gen 2 onwards, the Pokemaniacs actually dress up in basically Pokemon fursuits. And like, yeah, I mean, you look at the tag. There's no secret that I, have connections to the furry community, but it's like, fursuiting is not something that would ever be my thing, me personally. Like, even when I was a little kid, I was never big, and I was never really fond of costumed characters, and at like theme parks and stuff like that. And I had a wild imagination as a kid too, so it's just something that never really did much for me, though. A lot of costumers, a lot of cosplayers of, anime and movie characters, and even a lot of fursuit stuff is pretty interesting. It's just, especially the full body costume thing, it's not really my thing. Don't have any friends with strong, but the thing is, the people who do it and are really into it, like, it's fun watching them get into it and have fun. You know what it's kind of like? You know what it's like? Especially because I just, is over with a bunch of family for Thanksgiving. It's like having that grandmother or aunt who's into those really schmaltzy, saccharine Christmas movies that they run nonstop on the Hallmark Channel around this time of year. And it's like, the movies are corny, but they're supposed to be corny. It's just these feel-good, super schmaltzy, like, movies that it's like, I would never sit down and watch this. But when one of those movies is running around the holidays, and you're with someone, a relative, a friend, who's really into those, and it really makes them happy, it is like, those movies make for the best atmosphere ever, and I just cannot get enough of it. That's my relation to that. It's like, I'm not into it, but when people are doing it and they're happy about it and into it, it's the... Yeah, and if Real Fans saying they used to do mascotting a few years back and missed it, you did for a local Giant Tiger. Is that a supermarket or a gas station or something? I'm not familiar with Giant Tiger. But, yeah, it's a wonderful life and all can find love. Azure Rest. That, the air was broken inside the original suit, and so you're in it for 8.5 hours. Came out a sweaty mess. Yeah, like, a lot of those suits are so hot that they actually have cooling systems in them. And it's kind of crazy. And like, because just making kids happy is, because, that's a whole experience of itself can make, suffering through, like, a physically strenuous performance worthwhile. But it's like, to show how dedicated, like, all cosplayers, but especially the people who wear those thick, full-body fursuits. the fact that most people who wear like full body mascot suits like that are getting paid for it, right? And these are people who pay thousands of dollars to have these custom suits made just so they could be hot and sweaty and whatever and enjoy and have the experience of doing these performances and interactions with people. And for real fans saying, Giant Tiger is a Canadian chain. They sell everything from groceries to toys. Still have pictures of you in the suit. The feet were comfy as heck, though. Yeah, I heard that. Well, I know, like from what I heard about, like people who do build those custom fursuits, the feet on those animal costumes often are built around a pair of bedroom slippers, and then they build the rest of like the whole like paw shape sort of around it. So I heard like the feet are actually the comfiest part of those costumes a lot of the times. But back to the game, excuse me. Don't have any friends with strong Pokemon to lend me a hand either. And I'd never hear the end of it if I went crawling to that student council girl. But here you waltz up. You've got to help me out with this, but you'd be perfect. Yeah, Giant Tiger's a Canadian chain. You know, like, in America, we've got, like, there's this trend of just, like, big animals. Big animals, right? Like, as the names of, like, because there's, like, Giant Eagle. There's, like, Food Lion. And, like, all these different, Big Bear. Like, just all these just, something implying largeness and followed by the name of an animal. It's usually some kind of imposing predator, too. Frill fan saying, had an autistic kid that was in a stroller to come up to me once in the suit. He wanted to give me a hug and I almost fell, so I put my paws out and caught him. Aw, that's cute. And it's funny because, like, that's... And meanwhile, I'm, like, an autistic kid and I never was really interested in those suits. So, like, when I was a little kid who should have been, like, the prime age to be enchanted by stuff like that. And that was as a little autistic kid who liked, like, cartoon animals and critters and stuff. So, it's all kinds of... Yeah, that's a really cute story. Just, like, when something goes wrong, when you're performing and you're doing improv, which is, like, when you're doing live interactions, it's always improv. Like, this one I'm doing right now is improv. And if something goes wrong, you fall into it and just make it part of the performance and just make it work. And when you pull that off and no one knows that that was an accident, you know, it's like, that's one of those moments that make you feel like, yeah, I'm a slick performer. I'm good at this. That here you waltz up, you gotta help me out with this. You'd be perfect. Yes, let's do it. Nope, wait, I don't need an answer yet. I'll just register the places where it seems there might be Titans in your map for you. Oh, he has a cool phone case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Titans' layers have been added to your quest map. Path of Legends. Okay, so we have the Path of Legends, Victory Road, and I wonder what the third path's going to be. Let's do a bit, and we could get more into the details later. In the meantime, take this. A little gift for listening and all. You literally gave me a legendary Pokemon. I think we're caught up to speed in terms of gifts. Alright. But let's, there we go. There we go. Alright. Put the bag of Stardust in your bag's treasure pocket. Stardust. I was gonna say, I wonder what the Stardust is or what it does, but... Lovely red sand that flows between the fingers with a loose, silky feel. It can be sold at a low price to shops. Give the idea some serious thought, please. We've already accepted the challenge, but whatever. Now we don't actually have to pursue it, but... Yeah, I watched something on YouTube about how they handle, providing lunches to public school kids in Japan. And this is a normal, ordinary public school. And Pikachu says, Pika, I wonder if that means something in Japanese. I think that... Pikachu, I think, is some kind... I know the chew part is based on some onomatopoeia for a mouse, though. And for real fans saying they miss doing that job too. If you're asked again, you 100% be down to suit up again. As long as they have... I hope they were... I mean, I don't know what the labor laws are like in Canada, but I hope they're giving you whatever breaks you were entitled to, either legally or per official company policy. And you know, if the heating system inside the suit was malfunctioning, they absolutely need to provide you with cold water and make sure you don't get overheated. Nintendo had an incident like that where they hired a third-party company to oversee someone who was doing Donkey Kong suit performance at a zoo and to promote one of the either Donkey Kong Country Returns or Tropical Freeze. And they ended up, the company Nintendo hired didn't give the guy the mandated breaks. They ended up having like a sunstroke, and they ended up suing Nintendo because the company they hired did not provide the proper breaks. All right. Okay. There we go. And ban. There we go. Now, Rotototo. I wonder what this is going to be. Yeah, bot time. This is H, correct? Who is this? The Colonel? I hacked your smartphone so I could talk to you. Hope you don't mind. We're getting... Okay, we're like... covert ops stuff right here. I hacked your smartphone so I could talk to you. Hope you don't mind. I'm sorry, who are you? What do you mean hacked? Well, as far as you're concerned, it means I'm basically in control of your phone right now. My name's Cassiopeia. But never mind that. It's you I want to talk about. I hear you're a trainer with serious potential. If that description is accurate, there's something I'd like to ask of you. Tell me, H. You know about Team Star, right? Yes. Great. I appreciate you being upfront here. Team Star is a group of troublemakers formed by some academy students a while back. They cause headaches in the school and try to bring other students down to their level. I've refused to sit idly by and let them get away with it. What a time to hit a spot like this in a game just as the bot came into chat. Yeah, that is some... I didn't even think of that. That is quite some timing, huh? Well, hey, I'm honored that this is like not the last stream, but it might have been the last stream. Either the last stream or the stream before that one. I think it was the last stream just yesterday. A bot showed up then too. I'm honored to, I'm moving up in the world if my streams become notable enough for me to actually be getting some bot activity. Now, the interesting thing is that, I'm still talking to, the potential sponsor that, I've been in negotiations with, that's actually not a bot. And they, like I said, they're looking to, reach out to some smaller streamers. And I am allowed to talk about this much, but potential if they end up selecting me to be part of their program, it will mean a night and day difference in terms of what I could do with my streaming. But they said there's potential that they might actually provide me with with a cell phone to talk to them with, which is kind of interesting. But we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, I end up getting picked. And I can't say the name of this company yet, but anyway, so I've come up with a plan to bring down Team Star and force them to disband for good. I call it Operation Starfall. But I'll need allies to carry out this operation, and I'd like you to be one of them. Yes. I think this is the third major storyline path we have. And Real Fan is saying you haven't had a bot since you added that bot someone made to auto-ban any other bot accounts like the Haas accounts when the hate raids were a thing. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that whole, like, all those Haas accounts and all that weirdness. No need to reply right this second. We can discuss the details some other time. Till then, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Oh, it's the director. Ah, Master H. Please do try to keep your voice down if you're making calls within the school, won't you? Oh, really? Oh, what an awesome headmaster. He's not going to confiscate our smartphone? Gee whiz. What a What a generous headmaster. Like, because even in the cafeteria, like, you know, like, and not that a lot of kids had cell phones back when I was in high school. I'm making myself sound old, but even after school, I remember it was after school in front of the school building. This kid was calling his mom to pick him up, and some hall monitor lady was like, "No phones at school, give that to me." And meanwhile, he's talking to his mom to pick them up after, like, club period after school. And it's like, oh my freaking gosh. And then they want, and mind you, that this, like I was 18 when I was 18 in my senior year of high school. So you could be legally an adult getting fussed at having someone try to confiscate your phone after school to get a ride home. And then they want you to go straight from that to going out in the real world saying, oh, why aren't you functioning as a fully functional adult yet? You know, it's like, excuse me, like a month ago, I literally needed permission to go to the bathroom, and now you want me to be a fully functional adult? Like, one or the other. You know, but anyway, rant over. Please do try to keep your voice down if you're making calls within the school, won't you? Of course, sir. I'll be more careful. I would probably say, of course, sir. I mean, my school didn't make you call, you know, teachers and staff sir, but you used to sign yourself out. Thankfully, never had any issues with teachers here. Yeah, that's cool. You don't want anyone else overhearing any personal information, after all. Honestly, there are so many things we need to be careful about in this day and age. On you go, young man. Yeah, whenever you have an encounter where, like, an authority figure in school is, like, telling you what to do, and they say, like, well, off you go, have a good day. You know, that's like, cool. You just slip out, go about your business. You know. Team Star, you say? Oh, so he overheard that. Except for one you couldn't stand who went on for years even after... But that went on for years even after you were out of school, and they were doing it to other students. Calling Master H to the director's office, please. Once again, Master H, the director... Excuse me, I don't know how much time is supposed to have passed, but the director just had access to... I've yet to be able to walk... Can I... Oh, wow, they're actually going to let me walk around here, finally. Interested in any classes? Good morning, Master H. Which class would you like to take? So I could either go to the... Yet, when you saw him recently while you're shopping, it was like talking to a completely different person. You know, it's funny, like, I remember my 3rd grade math teacher, she was one of those, not 3rd grade math teacher, my 3rd grade teachers, before we had, like, course-specific teachers, you know, as in elementary school. She was really hard on me, but it's one of those, she was really hard on me because she liked me a lot and knew I could be great, and she, like, after... I ended up running into her in the supermarket here and there, and she ended up saying, like, you know, it was one of the ones she's really proud of. But let's see what math class is like in the Pokemon world. Would you like math with Miss Time? And once again, like, even up and through college, they tried to say I was mathematically illiterate. Meanwhile, I'm so interested in math that even years after... my higher education is, you know, I have my degree. I just happen to have an abacus sitting around, because that's what mathematically illiterate people who don't pay attention in class do. Meanwhile, once I was actually in an independent study with the head of the math department, who had no idea this was going on, they were like, the stuff you're doing with me is more than I'd expect of an actual math major. But then meanwhile, you know, just because I couldn't function in a normal math class environment, you know, with all my different flavors of special. Would you like math class with Miss Time? Yes. I want to see what math class is like in the Pokemon world. Class will begin soon. Don't be tardy. Don't be tardy? I mean, I have the option to go in whenever I want. Yeah, so sometimes long after the fact of school, you run up with teachers again. It's like, yeah, when they're no longer an authority figure. Oh my gosh, she looks like one of my actual math teachers. And this was in high school, and she was, you must be successful. she had that certain way of saying it, but she was really nice. But, gotta head up, and you'll be lurking. Gotta drive over to the Magic the Gathering tonight. Alright, good luck for real, fan. Don't get mana burned. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name's Time, and I will be your math teacher. Sorry to put you all on the spot at the start of class, but let me ask you a quick question. Do you enjoy numbers, arithmetic, and the like? Yeah, sort of, Oh, ha, thank you for your honest responses. Some of you may like numbers, and some may not. I think that makes a wonderful mix. And you know what? I started this in middle school. Whenever I'd get a new math teacher, this is how I test them to see how much they're actually paying attention to me. And because I'd ask them, just because it's something I was genuinely interested in, but I'd ask them, as a mathematician, I just ask them, what is the largest number you've ever worked with? What is the largest number you've ever performed a calculation with? And the good math teachers would give you an answer. Even if it was, I don't remember, or they talk about a specific time that they were, working as, I don't know, an accountant or whatever, or were in a lab and they were working with, or something, and they talk about the largest number they've ever worked with, even if they just say, like, oh, I don't remember. The bad math teachers would say, oh, there is no largest number. And when they answer like that, that means that they're not listening to what I'm saying. They're listening to what they think I'm saying. I asked them, what's the largest number you've ever performed a calculation with? And they answer as though I asked, what's the biggest number? And even in pre-K, I could tell you that there's no biggest number. Some of you may like numbers, and some of you may not. I think that makes a wonderful mix. But no matter your opinion on math, I hope you find yourselves enjoying our lessons together. I'll do my best to find a way to match up your interests with all types of math lessons. Speaking of which, are you all caught up on your studies of Pokemon type math? Okay, for example... Okay, I know teachers go on tangents, but now we're talking about Pokemon type matchups. Bearing in mind that water is strong against fire, if the move Water Gun hits a fire-type Pokemon, what becomes of the move's damage? It's cut in half, it doesn't change, it's doubled. This isn't math! This isn't math! This is just Pokemon trivia. That's right, I knew I could count on you for this question, H. If I could go back to the Halcyon year of 1998, because you know what? It was in math class. It was actually in math class. Because I was watching the Pokemon anime, in the morning before school. And it was like I was watching it for maybe a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. And I was sitting in math class. Now at this point it's a special education math class. And I was thinking, you know what? I like the Pokemon world. It's the first time I was consciously aware of the fact of how much I enjoyed the idea of Pokemon and the idea of the Pokemon world and going on adventures with these magical creatures. And it's the moment I actually thought, you know what? I like this world. I like the settings. And I'd like to experience it and not just watch it on the Pokemon cartoon show. I actually want to get a copy of Pokemon Red or Blue. I actually want to get a copy of the Game Boy games. And it was my very next report card when I came back with good grades that my mom took me to, I think, Funcoland. I think it was Funcoland or EB Games on a strip mall. And got me and I remember seeing them behind the counter. And I had the choice between Red or Blue, and I went with Red. Nowadays, I'd probably have gone with Blue. I mean, Blue's kind of like my color, right? My persona typically wears blue. I mean, I call him my persona, but there I'm wearing a black t-shirt, and my alter ego's wearing a blue t-shirt. But that outfit he was wearing, my Sona actually generally wears clothes that I actually already wear in real life. So it's not like I dress after my character. It's just I write my character's clothes based on how I dress in real life. Using moves of a type your opponent. No, but the point of all that was, I never thought that, imagine going from and daydreaming a bit in math class about how I love the Pokemon world, I'd love to actually not just watch the show, but, play the Game Boy games, to actually being in a math class in a Pokemon game. And being disappointed that it's actually Pokemon trivia and not actual math lessons that somehow involve the Pokemon world. Multiplies damage of those moves by 2. I'm not interested in this. I don't mean to encroach on Miss Dendra's battle studies territory, of course, but I thought it best to use a lively topic as an example. That can make math fun. Okay, so using the half and double, I guess, is the math tie-in. Oh, is that the bell? I suppose that's all for now. What a shame. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next class. I'm looking forward to it too. That was a disappointing math class. I cannot... There are games that actually have mini games where you actually answer math problems. Yeah, let's... which way to the professor's? Okay. Yeah, even in here, the map they show is just the map of the game world. And it just shows that I'm in the academy. Oh, you know, look how sad that is. At a stop sign, but the math lesson was not what you were expecting. Yeah, it definitely wasn't. Just be careful out there. Don't get a ticket or nothing on my behalf. But look at this. They add some Pokemon. Those are Pachirisu over there, and it's supposed to add liveliness to the fact that we're in a school in the Pokemon world. So there are Pokemon roaming around that are housebroken, I presume. But the fact of it the intention of adding more liveliness to this setting is ruined by the fact that Pokemon move at 5 frames per second. And you have these people just popping in and out of existence. Oh my goodness. Oh no. That's so bad. That's so bad. Team Star. If you heard of Team Star, they're a big problem around here, but that was a while ago. No, they're still around. Where? I did not want to talk to the dog. Where? There's a book about the Hebra Mystica. I know there is, but where could it be? What is this, a turnstile? Where do you want... Oh, that's the director's... Why is there a turnstile to get into the director's office? Oh, the STEM track. There's this girl named Penny in the STEM track. She's smart and really good with machines. I heard you started coming to school again. I cannot believe we live in an age where they just talk about STEM in a Pokemon game, but it makes enough sense as it's supposed to be a school. Textbooks are great. Yeah, it says... Yeah, those are the words of a student who does not have to pay for their own textbooks. Reading out loud from your textbook gets your ears and mouth in on the learning. Gotta study. This reminds me, I do have concrete plans to... there's a library near my apartment building, and I do intend to go there more often, because I'm looking at my bookshelf. There are a lot of books. I have a little apartment. I have my little setup here for my, for doing some writing and for my streaming and gaming, and most of my gaming is done on stream, but it's not really a good setup for reading, and I like going to that library. I just haven't gone very often. I do want to... There's lots of reading I want to do of just... And a lot of writing... Not just writing, but writing exercises I want to do as well. But, where do you want to go? Director's office. Yeah, why is there a turnstile to get into the director's office? Thank you for coming, Master H. Have you been enjoying your time here at UVA Academy? Yes. That is most wonderful to hear. Now, you may be wondering why we could not have simply conversed earlier in the cafeteria, but let me assure you, there is a reason why I asked you to meet me here in my office. It seems that a friend of mine has a rather serious matter they would like to discuss with you. Oh, no, I'm afraid they aren't actually in this room with us. One moment, please. Just allow me to connect us. Is this going to be Paprika or whatever her name was? Or Cassiopeia was her name, I think. Or their gender wasn't specified, so. Hello, H. It's nice to meet you. Oh, Professor Turo. Okay. My name is Professor Turo. I carry out Pokemon research within the Great Crater of Paldea, at a site known as Area Zero. Ah, there it is. Lag just from fading to black there. And that appears to be nothing but a static image of Professor Churro on the TV monitor there. The professor is, in fact, a graduate of our fine academy, as well as a splendid researcher. They have to fade off with a very slow, painful frame rate, fade to black, and then zoom in at full screen in order to have the character on screen be fully animated. Oh my goodness. Well, allow me to get straight to the point. H, student number 805C393. You are the student who travels with the unusual Pokemon Miraidon, is that correct? Yes. Thank you, I appreciate that you're honest in confirming the facts. Oh, we're back to the static image of Professor Churro, even as he's supposed to be talking to us. Now, as you see, when we at the close-up, his mouth was moving. Now his mouth isn't moving. This is embarrassing. Like, the screen on the Sheikah Slate in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that wasn't fully animated, right? But at least that was a little tiny screen that you only ever see the screen of the Sheikah Slate briefly. Assistance? Agia? Oh, how good to see that you are well. It has been quite a while since we last met. Yes. Miraidon was once in my care, you see. I keep saying Meridian. It's Miraidon, okay? Its Pokeball was originally mine. I assume you received it from a young man called Arvin. I am no longer in any position to be able to manage that Pokemon myself. This is what I would ask you. Will you continue looking after Miraidon on my behalf? Yes. I do appreciate your agreement. And mind you, I'm not even going to hammering on the fact that there's no voice acting, as there should be. I mean, this franchise is the second biggest thing aside these main series games is a anime that's been running for more than 20 years. This company knows how to assemble people to do voice work. All right? Miraidon has been greatly weakened and is currently incapable of battle. It can, however, take on a form specialized for mobility. In all likelihood, it will require some time to fully regain the capabilities it once had. I'll provide you with my contact information. If you would please get out your phone. I will be in regular contact going forward to keep tabs on your status. Until then. And you know, I'm thinking back to the math class, I just want to say real quick. I was thinking about how, I remember, like, how, you know, the teacher went on about, like, oh, you know, using the half damage, double damage thing to try to get into the math things of having something or doubling something. I remember when my mom tried to teach me fractions. And didn't really understand it, but how she tried to teach me fractions. As she would get those Boboli pizza crusts and get the sauce and the cheese, and we'd make the pizza together, and she'd cut it up and explain, like, oh, this is half, and these are quarters. And I didn't really understand, but I knew that fractions had something to do with parts of something, and that you got to eat pizza at the end. So thank you, Mom, for that math lesson. And mind you, this is taking place when I'm either in kindergarten or pre-kindergarten. So being able to even understand that much of fractions, that it has something to do with parts of something that was whole, is more than you could expect of a pre-K student. So thank you, Mom. And thanks for the pizza. Agigagias. Could this Pokemon have its origins within Area Zero? Gotta fix your glasses, like poking up at the bridge like a dork, even though that's what I do all the time because I am a dork. But Churro, don't tell me you actually did it. Well, it seems the professor is asking quite the favor of you. But of course, the Academy is always here to support you in any way that we are able. I hope you will continue to enjoy your school life together with that Miraidon. I'm going to say Miraidon from now on. It just sounds better. There's so many different ways you could say it, but... Area 0, What are you doing down there, Professor? Look, those, I think those are supposed to be binders, but they look kind of like VHS tapes. Oh, we have a whiteboard with all these conspiracy theories on there. Got the laptop. Man, this office is a little laboratory unto itself. Hello, excuse me. Hey, it's Nemona. Oh, H. Oh, you're still here, H. Oof, getting called into the director's office? How do you land in that much trouble already? Nah, kidding. I know it wasn't like that. Mr. Jacques wanted me to show you the way to your room in the school dorms. Your very own private room, H. Let's go check it out. Wait! Your dorm room, a nice space of your own away from home. How rich are the kids at this school that their dorm room is an entire room? That each student gets to themselves? It's this big? From today on, this is your room, H. Actually, it's as new to me as it is to you. Never been in here before. Maybe check out your new bed. Looks comfy and you must be pretty worn out after all this stuff happening on your first day, huh? Quick rest in the bed is all you need to get yourself and your Pokemon healthy again. I'll see you tomorrow when you rest up. Then we can battle even more. Take care. Look at Azure S. This is okay. We've got a full kitchen. I mean, honestly, I just need basically one room to store things in, and maybe like a little couch right here facing this wall and put the TV against the wall. And I, in real life, wouldn't mind having this as an apartment. I really wouldn't. And, you know, like, you have just the closet right there, a big walk-in closet, which I do have a big walk-in closet behind me, but, yeah, I mean, my apartment is, wait, and yeah, just have one room there just to, like, be the bathroom, I guess. And that would be pretty dope, actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much of a kitchen to myself, but at least I do have the big walk-in closet. And it needs a few comfy chairs. Yeah, I could use a little table. We could put the table right here, right? You know, dare I imagine, do I whisper a dream that this game will actually let me customize the door? Now, well, my main complaint, this door here, this is not, that looks like a door to a house. This does not look like a door to like a dorm room. Ready to call it a day? You'll need rest if you want to be prepared for your new school life. You don't have an option. The game's forcing me to do this. You know, when I was in college, my college was like it was basically a commuter college that was obsessed with trying to be a crappy university instead of a good commuter college. So there were dorms that literally looked like projects, and I actually go into the dorms, and I was like late and like during my time at the college, and I went in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a real dorm room. It's just like in the movies. Attention students, today marks the beginning of an important new assignment. Please assemble in the schoolyard while I'll explain in more detail. Dong ding ding dong. It's time! I've been waiting forever for this. Come on, let's go out to the schoolyard. It's time for the thing that's going to basically single-handedly define our school life as not being an actual school life of living in... This... How rich is this kid's parents to have this as a dorm room? I would love to have this as an apartment. Shoot. Because I've got the bathroom, the walk-in closet in my one room. You know, like I had a whole separate kitchen to myself. Oh my goodness. Okay. Courtyard sometimes used for battle studies class. It's a common place suited to... What's the point of giving me a menu to choose from when there's only one thing to choose from? It's bad enough that I can't actually walk through the school to the courtyard. I have to select it off a menu. Even if they just brought me here automatically when I went to the door, that would have been better than this. Well then, it's time I explained your independent study assignment. As usual, the theme will be a treasure hunt. I ask each of you to set out and travel the world in search of your own treasure. You have learned so much within the walls of our fine academy. But now it's time to turn your eyes upon the wider world and deepen your understanding. Explore Paldea's abundant nature, soak in its rich culture and all of its static screenshot glory. You know what? These are static screenshots because they know they couldn't animate this well. That's really embarrassing. Where will you travel? Who will you meet? And what will you achieve? Of course, your Pokemon partners will be there to help you. You will journey together, learn new things together, share each other's thoughts and feelings, and find something you might always treasure. I look forward to welcoming you all back after your independent study, when you return to us as fine young trainers. Let the treasure hunt begin. Onward. Are you going to give us some more concrete tasks for this treasure hunt? I know there's like independent study, but I got to give you some guidelines for this course of independent study. Apparently. Oh, a new Pokemon! New Pokemon. Let's see you. Tome, time for the great... This Pokemon obviously looks like some kind of relative of the one we've got, Miraidon. Yeah, that's why they bragged... Yeah, how sad is it that 20 years ago, they had better animation in Pokemon Puzzle League on Nintendo 64 using actual anime cutscenes than decades later. But, I like... Because look at the background. Not the kid that's, like, doing that dance, but the kid in the far background, he's moving like with like flipbook frame rate. But this Pokemon here is obviously some kind of relative, some kind of cousin of Miraidon that we've got. And I like that big, strong-looking tail, and it looks like it really is using the tail to balance its weight as it stands on two legs, which is cool. Tomoya, time for the great outdoors. Come on, Cyclizar. Okay, that's what this is called. Come on, Cyclizar, we're riding out. Take care, everyone, and remember the great crater of Paldea is exceedingly dangerous. Entering it is a violation of school rules. We're definitely going there, then. What are you waiting for, H? Let's go. Wait, I want to... It looked like he was about to ride that Pokemon, and we don't get to see how it works? Can we do anything? When you're told you can do anything at all, it sort of makes it hard to know where to start. Yeah, that's what a lot of students go to when the professor says, hey, this is 19th century British literature. Go ahead and write a paper. Just write a paper about 19th century British literature. Nope. You know, that's a really... And you have to actually have the imagination. Okay. 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 R triggers to send out the Pokemon. ZR is to... Hey, let's actually look at our Pokemon. Let's actually swap out... I'm probably... Oh, and apparently... Oh, I just want to say something. Okay. Check summary. So... Sprigatito, if you don't know, they've been a lot of, I guess, cannabis jokes made about this Pokemon's appearance, especially with the leaf pattern, being a grass-type cat Pokemon, and having the leaf pattern on his face. Like, since the day they revealed this Pokemon, lots of jokes calling this, you know, the Weed Cat Pokemon, and, you know, calling it Weed Cat. So apparently, if you nickname this Pokemon Weed, it will say that is not allowed. You know, because they don't want you to give your Pokemon, you know, being a smart butt and giving it rude names that wouldn't be good for a family-friendly game, right? So you can't call it Weed. But you can name the Pokemon, you can nickname it Weed Cat, and it will accept that. And meanwhile, I thought I was trying to be clever by naming my Sprigatito CBD, and it comes to find out that yeah, I could have just flat out called it Weed Cat, which is the nickname everyone was giving it anyway. Look at. Yeah, I like how far into the distance you can see in the town and everything. All right, so. Oh. Here we go. H. Oh, that's great. Fantastic animation there. We're off to her left from this perspective. We're far off to the left. He says H. Then the animation is of her walking from straight on. Fantastic animation, Game Freak. Jackalope saying should have gone with Mary Jane. Honestly, I mean, yeah, CBD, that was, yeah, spelled CEEBIE space DEE. Well, first off, I did like that name. I thought that was a cute, it sounds like an actual pet name, kind of, you know, reminiscent of like a name like Scooby-Doo. Like, you know, we're so used to Scooby-Doo branding because, you know, Scooby-Doo's been around since like the 70s, right? But what does Scooby-Doo mean? Where does a name like that even come from? So, like, yeah, CBD, yeah, it's a cool, like, name you may potentially give a... Alright. The treasure hunt, it's finally starting. What do they mean by treasure? What are we supposed to do? Okay, what are we supposed to do? Oh, fair question, since it's your first time. Come on, let's walk and talk. I'm gonna probably call the stream in about a half hour. We've had a good session. The treasure hunt is a huge part of the UVA Academy school year. The point isn't to get us all looking for some actual hidden treasure necessarily. We're just making our own adventures to see what experiences Paldea's got to offer. You can try to beat Pokemon gyms, you can hunt, help out people in need, you can hunt for real capital T treasure if you want it even. I mean, come on, if I was going to structure this like an actual realistic independent course of study, it would probably be like, oh, you have to make a report as you go along with it or something like that. But, okay, it's a video game. They're incorporating the idea of being able to wander the region freely. They've written that in within the context of attending this school and having the school life backstory. They're incorporating it very well. So the criticisms are really little nitpicks. The concept, the writing, the story, for the most part, is my least problem. The most of my problems was with animation and animation, basic functionality of my definition of bad graphics are graphics that do not display within reasonable expectation, within the reasonable capabilities of what the system is. Within the limitations of what the system is reasonably capable of, is the game depicting what I'm supposed to trust and believe is taking place within the game world. And there are lots of situations where that is not happening. And so it's not about, oh, I want the most realistic graphics, or I want a high frame rate, or I want to be able to see the fleas in Pikachu's fur. It's not about that. It's about, do these graphics convey what I'm supposed to trust is taking place within the game world? And by that definition, there are lots of bad graphics within this game. Help people out in need. You can even hunt for real capital T treasure if you want it even. There's stuff we never learned sitting in the classroom, you know. This is our chance to learn it. Plus, there's so many chances to battle, which is obviously perfect for me. You and me sure got battle if we run into each other out there. Hope you're ready. Yes. Oh yeah, battling can wait. I meant to tell you. Did you know your phone's map apps lets you set your self-destination? I knew that already. I knew that. You try setting one of the gyms as your destination. That get you on your way easy. How's that for a student council president? Giving your own friends an insider... That's not an insider advantage. That's just basic... What is this? They knew that I'm not available at this time. I tell my clients very specifically, you know, when I am and am not available. And if they want to ignore that, and I say, they get to me later, oh, we didn't respond to my phone. I'm like, I told you what my hours are. And I'm available pretty much anytime I'm not streaming. I'm pretty flexible with working with clients. But anyway. Drag our professional life into this fantasy world. Okay. How's that for a student council president? Giving your own friends an insider advantage. That's not an insider advantage. Arvin! Insider advantage? Sheesh, you make it sound like we're cheating or something. All I did was suggest that you check out the gems. It's up to H whether he goes. H is gonna have his hands full searching out Titan Pokemon with me. He doesn't have time to waste on something like chasing after the champion rank. Me and him are gonna be too busy visiting the layers of Titans and nabbing their Herba Mystica. And Serio? I guess that's you serious? Don't go filling his head with weird stories. Hey, all I did was invite him along. It's still up to H whether he goes, right? Grr. Ro-to-to-to-to. H, your phone's ringing. Hey, how about that? Just like in real life. Hey, H. Cassiopeia here. It's about Operation Starfall. Remember what I told you before? Team Star is made up of 5 individual squads, and each one's got their own base. You need to go to each base, all 5 of them, and beat the squad boss there. Team Star's grunts might try to get in your way, but I'll be helping you out from a distance. And heads up, the bosses in each specialize in a different Pokemon type. Just remember the names of their crews, and you'll figure it out. Still, no need to worry. With your skills, I'm sure you're more than up to the task. I'll just go ahead and add the base's locations to your phone for you. Oh. The Dark Crew, the Fairy Crew, the Fighting Crew, the Poison Crew, the Fire Crew. I wonder if... I need to check. I'm interested to see, are all of these Team Star bases, like, different element types than the gym leaders? Because that would be a cool way to cover challenges based around different gym leader types. Like, or different challenges that aren't covered by the 8 gyms, because there are more than 8 Pokemon types, so... Starfall Street. I think they're different. Yeah, okay, Jackalopes. Oh, that's cool. Good luck with these bosses. I'll hook you up with some nice rewards every time you beat one. Wait 1 second. Who are you supposed to be? In Team Star? Those punks are a serious hazard. Yeah, I like the way this is structured with their different, main quests you could go after. I like the way... Like, they just needed another 6 months. Honestly, they needed another year. They needed another year, and frankly, they should not have been... Like, Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is a game with... They use the idea that, oh, this takes place, you know, like 150 years ago, so it's before there were major towns settled in the Sinnoh region. So they use that idea to good effect to be able to make a relatively minimal world to explore and focus on adventuring around in those wild open areas with only one main town. But quite clearly, Pokemon Legends Arceus and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet should have combined into one game called Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Because, like, Pokemon Legends Arceus was very clear that they were doing a revenue-earning test run for some concepts to progress the future of the Pokemon series beyond Sword and Shield, which was ultimately, you know, for whatever fun it was or wasn't, its presentation style, its formula, its model is ultimately, in my opinion, a HD single-screen 3DS style experience. whereas Pokemon Legends Arceus and especially this year is more of what I would expect from a progressive home console HD Pokemon game. Yeah, more games equals more money, but I mean, the fact that Nintendo has actually issued, and only for certain people, only if I guess you complain the certain way or get the right people, but Nintendo has actually issued refunds for certain people who have complained about the quality control issues in this game. And that is, like, almost unprecedented for Nintendo. And as much as I'm enjoying this, because I skipped out on Pokemon Sword and Shield. I did not buy Pokemon Sword and Shield with my own money. Someone else bought Pokemon Sword on my behalf, and what little I did play of it really did reflect, because I skipped out on Pokemon Sword and Shield. I was excited at first. I was especially excited to have a Pokemon game based on Great Britain. Wow, it's starting to rain in the game. That's interesting. I wonder if that's just a random event. If there's going to be randomized weather now that we've gotten further in the game. But when I played Pokemon, as we got closer and closer to release, there were certain things I was willing to accept. Okay, we're not going to have a complete Pokedex in this game. Not every Pokemon's going to be obtainable. Yeah, and they had the cloud shadows go across the buildings, as Azure S pointed out. That's a cool detail. That's good. That's something I give them credit for. That's good. We want more of that. But having rainfall and having the shadows of the clouds go overhead, that's one thing. But when you have characters that are a stone's throw away, moving at 10 frames per second without exaggeration, characters popping in and out like they've been snapped in and out of existence by Thanos, that's not good quality. But it's far worse than the quality control issues of Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I skipped out on buying Pokemon Sword and Shield with my own money because I was going to, yeah, it's not realistic, but for stylistic purposes, I think I accept it. But as we got there, I was willing to accept, okay, as Pokemon games become bigger and bigger, how do you manage a roster of more than 800 playable characters? You know, I was willing to accept concessions like not having a full Pokedex. But as we got closer and closer to release for Pokemon Sword and Shield, I began to see that these things that they've cut back on are not having the benefits that they promised. Unimpressive animations, lots of actual quality control issues, and I was like, this is not what I expected for a HD mainline Pokemon RPG on a home console, even a hybrid, a handheld home system like Switch. Even if it's not the most powerful system in the world, Breath of the Wild embarrassed the heck out of Pokemon Sword and Shield's graphics and embarrassed this game's graphics as well. And so I'm willing, if we go into the next Pokemon game and I don't see a revolution in terms of just basic quality, and it looks like it's going to shape up like this, I will not buy Pokemon Wind and Rain, or Pokemon Topaz and Chartreuse, or whatever else they want to make, if this is the quality I'm going to be getting in terms of basic functionality of the game. So I'm going to enjoy this, because it might be my last Pokemon game for a long time. And I'm sorry to say that. But that's right, because he's got more important things to do, like researching out awesome ingredients with me. I thought it was up to H to decide whether he goes or not. Wasn't that what you said? Nimona and Arvin? Too bad he can't rent it first, but the thing is, well, I don't know if Gamefly still exists. But frankly, I mean, like, I could return the physical game, right? But the thing is, I'm not interested. If I would either just not play the game if the reviews come out like the reviews and feedback for this one did. Because I don't want to spend 10 hours into a game and then not play it. You know, but fortunately, even when this is done, there are plenty of classic Pokemon games I can play with my real cartridges using the Analog Pocket here. Heard that Blockbuster's coming back? Well, you know what? I heard that Intellivision was coming back. I heard that Atari was coming back. And I heard that G4 was coming back. And time again, when they try to bring back these old brands and products, there's a reason that the original brand died in the first place. And I think Blockbuster, if they want to make money, they're better off. They're best off just continuing to milk the merchandising and branding on the nostalgia factor. Because physical rental stores in the way that they existed, unless it's a totally different business model, I don't see this new form of Blockbuster doing well. But, how do you know my... I'm looking forward to seeing what he could pull off, H. Bye. Well, what was that all about? I'm glad you're making plenty of friends here, but try not to get dragged into anything dangerous. Anyway, no more weird vibes. We've got a big adventure to start. I'm gonna battle every single Pokemon trainer I meet. If I just keep trying to become the strongest, I bet experience will be the thing I treasure. I guess I'll start by heading to a gym and training up some new Pokemon there. I'll send you a pic of what the gym buildings look like. Oh, they all have a uniform design this time around? Well, they had a uniform design in the older Pokemon games too, so... Oh, and I know we've been running our mouths, but your call what to do, H. Go where you want and do what it is you really want to do most. A treasure of our very own. For me, that's gotta be my big dream of tracking down the Herba Mystica. Once we get those herbs, I'll make you the absolute best sandwich you've had in your life. Agias. Arg, what'd you come out for? Oh my gosh, did you come out just because you said sandwich? Ha ha ha. Well, you're not getting one. Aw. I want to give the LED Dragon Doggo a sandwich. Seems like it once starts moving. Is it telling you to get on, H? How to ride. Press the plus button to jump onto Miraidon. You'll find you can get around more quickly. When you're on Miraidon's back, you can press the B button to have it jump, allowing you to leap over obstacles in your path. Press the plus button again to hop off of Miraidon and walk. Alright. Aw, this is so cool. Whoa, it transformed. Now it really looks like some kind of weird Silazar. As long as you've got Miraidon, you can go pretty much anywhere. Paldea's your Cloyster. Yeah, maybe. If you're going to search for those Titan Pokemon, I'd say set out from the East Gate. But since Aja's actually heading to take on some gems, I'd say go for the West Gate. Besides, it's way too easy to get lost out east. Man, that's why I can't get along with you. I'm out of here. Catch up soon, little buddy. I'll head to a gym. See you around, H. The Treasure Hunt. The Treasure Hunt has finally begun. This special event is held for the Academy to encourage students to set off on their own and learn for themselves. You're free to decide where you want to go as you search for a treasure all your own. Aww. How idealistic. A history class, a home ec. I want to see what a home ec class is. Look at this. This is so cool. This is a cool creature design, all right? All the problems I've complained about. This is such a cool creature design, all right? I love this. And I do love the idea of creatures and monsters that are, I guess, serve a practical purpose, but aren't quite robots either. Like a practical purpose in terms of like a living... I saw a character once. Someone's, I think, yeah, I forgot, what was their name? It's somebody who actually drew me some artwork, some Dorworm fan art, believe it or not, which was really cool. Dorworms being these snake-like worm critters that live on these other beings' tails. And they drew me some Dorworm fan art, which was awesome. And we have dynamic time of day now too. Okay, when you zoom in, the Miraidon fades out. Okay, fine, I accept that concession. But I love creature designs that are like... But this artist, they also had another character that was like a little lizard that was a living Nintendo 3DS. And it was just such a charming idea the way they executed this concept. And so you have this dragon. So he's 4 legs. Yeah, he's got 4 legs. And when you hop on his back, these wheels pop out that are kind of made of white, and he has these jets on the back. So when I'm moving, he tucks in his limbs, and he's just rolling around on these wheels. So I like that's such a cool creature design. And you know, for everything, and I want to know what a home mech class is like in the Pokemon world. All right, I want to know. This is all right. I like, and you press plus, and wait till you see the teacher. All right, yeah, and I like, and I press, and when he stops, he just his limbs sort of unfold, and he's standing on all 4s. And when you keep going, he tucks his limbs in, and this is so cool. Okay, so we press. What's the button to make this? Okay, it's the B button. Yeah. Oh, that is a cool animation. Yeah. So he folds in his limbs. Yeah, it's like his jets does make him look like he's farting fire. But yeah, you press. Oh, look at the nights. It looks cool at night. So now that we've reached this point, we have this dynamic day-night cycle, which was working kind of like Legend of Zelda. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time a Pokemon game's done this. I don't think it happens in Sword and Shield. In Pokemon Gold and Silver, you have a day and night system that's tied to the real life time of day, which is interesting. But yeah. So you move around and boom. Yeah, I love how when you do the jump, he actually unfolds his limbs and leaps using his legs. So this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. All right. So how about this? I'm streaming close to 2 hours. How about I think this would be a good spot to call it. We're gonna call the stream here. Well, actually, let's take a look real quick at and I will be back on honestly for all the problems, for the continuing problems that I've pointed out about this game, and more, I will say that I'm genuinely interested in continuing with this game, because after last stream, I was like, it was so bad that I was like, I don't want to keep, if this ends up being my last Pokemon game, if I end up skipping Next Generation, if it looks like it's going to have questionable quality control, and it seems like they rushed, like this time, I'm going to skip the next Pokemon game. I'm not ashamed of that. But, yeah, we've got some gear here. Look at all the gear we've got. And you know what? They've yet to explain the whole, pick. Okay, so we've got some potato salad. Butter. Tomorrow's... you know what? I forgot to... No, excuse me. I'm not streaming tomorrow. Did I say I was streaming tomorrow? No, I'm streaming Saturday the 3rd. I'm streaming Saturday the 3rd. Alright? Excuse me. I said tomorrow. And it's going to be Saturday the 3rd. So how about we, let's save... I like that copy there. It says, now saving your Pokemon adventure. I like that. I like that little bit of writing there. I don't mind that. That's cool. So, my faith, the quality issues are going to persist throughout the entire game, but my ability to enjoy this game, I'm confident in my ability to enjoy this game in spite of the problems. Unlike Pokemon Sword and Shield, where once I started playing it, I was like, I don't know about this. You know, I couldn't even bring myself to continue playing. I just lost interest. And to confirm all my worst fears. All my worst fears are basically true, but it looks like in spite of that, the good parts of the game are going to be enough for me to enjoy going forward. So I will be back tomorrow. Not tomorrow. I'm so used to saying that because I've been doing... But I'll be back Saturday, the 3rd. At 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with more Pokemon Violet. I think what I'm going to do is maybe we'll spend about an hour doing classes and preparing to head out into the world. And then the second hour, we'll actually start exploring around. And if I feel like it, you know, I'm going to do a midstream break and stream for another hour or two. Honestly, I got to say, there's so much there's a strange thing with television, right? You watch an hour show, and every, like, half hour, you know, every 20 minutes, you get, like, a 4 or 5 minute commercial break. Whereas with streaming, you could stream for, like, I've seen streamers go for, like, 4 hours and then take a break, 4 hours in a row, take a break and be like, you're taking a break already? You've only been streaming 4 hours. So there's so much pressure to have these, 4 to 6 or 8 hour streams. And I've streamed that long and had a great time. But for a lot of these gameplay streams, especially for these more episodic games where I'm not doing these where I'm not playing, a score attack type game, I'm enjoying this new recent trend of streaming for just a couple of hours. And like when I do 4 hour, my traditional streams, when I do like a 4 hour stream, and I have a timer in the background. I always used to have the timer on screen. Now I just have the timer so that only I could see it. After 2 hours, I take it, and that's 2 hours for me going on camera, because I go live on a hold screen 10 minutes before I appear on camera and start the actual show. Then, once the 2 hours pass, I do the 10-minute break. Whether I feel like it or not, I make myself take it. Most of the time I really need it. Sometimes I feel like I don't need it. I still take the 10-minute break. Then another 2 hours, I usually on the stream, if I want to go on another hour, I'll do another 5 or 6 minute break. And if I'm in the middle of that 2 hours and I feel like limb tingling or anything like that, or I need to, run to the bathroom real quick, I do that. Now, you could question, perhaps I could have a bigger audience or something if I did that, but I don't want to. I love doing this, and I could not. What it would take to throw my whole life outside of streaming away and stream for hours and hours, I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. And if I don't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing a show that I'd enjoy doing and that I think my viewers would like. So I'd rather be, because look, I'm a small streamer, right? If I've got 10 people watching and 3 people in chat, it's a really poppin' stream, right? I thank you everyone who showed up, everyone who lurked, whatever. No pressure to join in chat, but so if I've got 10 people watching and 3 people in chat, it's a poppin' stream for me, right? I'd rather stream to that for the rest of my streaming career than have 20 or 30 people in chat and I'm miserable the whole time and not doing a show I'm proud of. Because I don't think I could do a show that people would want to see if I'm burning myself out like that. And I know I watch videos from all kinds of makers about, how to, grow your audience, tips on how to run your stream or whatever. And so many of the videos I watch are like, are you tired of being a small streamer with only 50 to 100 viewers? And I'm like, that's what's a small streamer now? And it's like, okay, and I'm not saying that you have to burn yourself out and have unhealthy streaming patterns and habits in order to stream, many times a week for many hours, and be able to sustain. And if I'm not saying there are lots of healthy ways you can stream a lot longer than I do, but that's not how I do it. And it's not what's suited for me. But I think doing shorter streams more often, I think is going to be great for me. And it's something I've only really done within the last month. And so the next stream on Saturday the 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is my last currently scheduled stream. There's some new things I want to try in December, but the fact that I'm enjoying Pokemon so much makes it something I would like to go back to at least once a week. So if I maybe have a pattern where I'll do a watch party stream and then a Pokemon stream, and then, maybe Saturday be like a wild card stream. And, every once in a while, maybe I'll take a Saturday off. But we'll see. So thank you all so much for watching. This is a fantastic stream with a fantastic turnout. And so I will see you next time. And thank you very much for watching.